Okay, good afternoon. I'm here with the Ambassador of Togo, Ambassador Toba from the African Union. We have co-chaired the 12th annual session of the AU Peace and Security Council meeting with the United Nations Security Council members today. We will brief you a little bit about the discussions we've just had. I want to say first that I think there is a very strong sense in the United Nations. The Secretary General speaks a lot about it, but also us in the Security Council, that the challenges to security and development we face are common and increasingly interconnected. When African countries respond, they also respond on our behalf. So we are very much in it together when it comes to the African challenges and indeed the global challenges. The Security Council has been clear that a strategic partnership between the African Union and the United Nations is absolutely critical to achieving our objectives at all levels, country-wise, regional, and indeed globally. As someone said today, this is not a symbolic relationship. This is an absolutely necessary relationship if we are to achieve our goals. We want to commend the work of the African Union and its regional partners, which should be an inspiration for other regions. You and us, we usually talk about, I usually make this point about how the African Union is a model for many other regions in the world, and that the United Nations should be blessed by having a partner such as the African Union, and that we would have been in a better position in other parts of the world had we had similar organizations and regional actors. What the regional actors do to help the UN is to really bring a thorough understanding of issues. They are invested in resolving crises in their neighborhoods. They have established relationships at local levels. They bring specific comparative advantages to the table. In the case of the African Union, they have also agility and credibility, and indeed many African countries are with troops or police on the ground in many of the conflicts that we are discussing on the Security Council agenda. So these meetings are much more than just a box-ticking exercise. Rather, it builds on the concrete steps being taken by the AU Commission and the UN Secretariat to move towards more systematic and predictable collaboration. We started this morning by what is really a seminar or an informal session where we discussed the partnership. Some concrete ideas that are being discussed is to have more joint trips. As you know, Assistant Secretary General Lacroix and the Chairperson, the Commissioner for the Peace and Security have visited parts of Africa together. We have been discussing whether the Security Council could make joint trips with our African counterparts, and we've decided to look into that on an ad hoc basis, and that could very well happen in the near future. We have discussed the issue of funding and financing. As you know, it's a very important issue on the agenda. We were briefed about, from the African Union side, on the developments when it comes to putting money into this AU Peace Fund, which is set up to finance peace operations on the continent. And we were also updated when it comes to how far the AU has moved since our last conversation when it comes to establishing frameworks for human rights, accountability, conduct and discipline, etc. And of course, the issue of where we go from here when it comes to assessed contributions has also been discussed. And finally, this morning, the issue of silencing the guns, a very ambitious project set out by the African Union, supported by the UN, was on the agenda. Now, as you know, the Secretary General here, the Chairperson in Addis Ababa, have established a very close and almost daily contacts between the two secretariats. We, from Sweden, thoroughly believe that we need to establish a similar close relationship between the two councils. And I think we've accomplished a great step forward in the quality of that relationship today. We have, and it will be circulated if it hasn't already been, just adopted a joint communique that deals with what we've discussed today, including on the DRC and South Sudan. So you can please, I refer you to that to see where our messages, which are very strong in terms of in the DRC, for everyone to reject violence, to assist humanitarian assistance, and of course to also ensure that the electoral milestones that have been reached are respected. And that relates to the commitments of the New Year's Agreement of 2016. I would like to, and of course, we have underscored that the elections must be held according to the timetable, and that there be a peaceful and democratic transfer of power in accordance with the Constitution and the political agreement of 31st December 2016. So with that, I'd like to give the floor now to my dear co-president, Ambassador Toba.
Merci encore, mon cher frère Olof. Au nom de la délégation du CPS, pour l'accueil que vous nous avez réservé ici à New York. J'ai été honoré d'avoir co-présidé avec vous. Merci encore. Mesdames et messieurs, je crois que nous avons eu encore cette journée de très bons échanges. Et ces échanges ont porté particulièrement sur le partenariat Union africaine, Nations unies. Nous avons également échangé sur les situations de conflit en Afrique. Sur le partenariat Union africaine, Nations unies, notre 12e réunion conjointe a été l'occasion d'évaluer notre partenariat à travers les progrès réalisés. La coopération entre ces deux organisations dans le domaine de la paix et de la sécurité ont permis également de faire une réunion annuelle des dirigeants ainsi que ceux des Nations unies et de l'Union africaine. Ça s'est passé à Addis Ababa. Nous avons exprimé notre ferme soutien au Conseil de sécurité des Nations unies et du CPS, à l'UA, à la coopération entre ces deux organisations et leur leadership, en particulier à notre initiative commune, y compris la conduite des missions conjointes sur le terrain. Nous continuons d'explorer de nouvelles voies pour le renforcement de la coopération entre l'Union africaine et les Nations unies. Enfin, nous avons échangé sur les efforts de l'Union africaine pour faire taire les armes en Afrique à l'horizon 2020. Nous avons exploré les voies et moyens d'un appui possible. Nous avons également abordé la situation au Soudan du Sud. La situation au Soudan du Sud, comme vous le savez, est très préoccupante. À en juger par les violences qui continuent d'endeuiller le peuple. La situation humanitaire extrêmement difficile qui en découle nous interpelle au plus haut niveau. Nous nous sommes félicités des efforts en cours pour la conduite de l'IGAD, avec notamment les différentes phases de forum de revitalisation de l'accord sur la résolution du conflit au Soudan du Sud, tenu en décembre 2017 et février 2018. Nous avons exhorté les parties sud-soudanaises à continuer de faire preuve de l'esprit de compromis nécessaire en vue d'achever rapidement le processus de revitalisation et parvenir à un accord crédible, inclusif et durable dans le prolongement de la déclaration de Khartoum et de la rencontre de Kampala. Nous avons souligné la nécessité que les contrevenants de l'accord de cessez-le-feu rendent compte et mettent un terme à la culture de l'impunité pour ceux qui sont responsables de la perpétuation de la situation de conflit et des violences. Telles sont, mesdames, messieurs, les points sur lesquels nous avons échangé. Je vous remercie.
Monsieur l'ambassadeur, Philippe Rater de l'AFP. Aujourd'hui, M. Kabila a prononcé un discours. Tout le monde attendait à ce qu'il annonce qu'il ne se représenterait pas à la fin de l'année. Il ne l'a pas fait. Quel est votre message à son intention?
Vous répondez RDC.
Ok, RDC, c'est moi. Merci.
Et vous pouvez répondre aussi?
Non, il vous avait dit qu'il va répondre à la question.
Yes, well, we have noted the declaration today, and we understand that President Kabila is committed to respecting the Congolese constitution. You will see in the joint communique by the two councils today that we underscore jointly, and this is the voice of all the members of the Security Council and the Peace and Security Council of the African Union, that elections must lead to a peaceful and democratic transfer of power in accordance with the Constitution. So that is the response, if you like, to where we stand, and we do that jointly.
If I could follow up on that, Ambassador, does that imply, therefore, that President Kabila should not stand in the next election?
Well, I think what it says is that the Constitution sets certain limits to that, and so we cannot impose anything but what the Constitution says.
So in short, the answer is yes.
The answer is what I just told you, namely that when we say that we look forward to the democratic transfer of power according to the Constitution, that I think that is fairly clear as to what the Constitution says and what needs to happen in Congo at the end of this year.
I'd also ask a question on South Sudan. There was, of course, a great deal of disagreement on the arms embargo. The Ethiopian permanent representative made it clear that the decision to impose the arms embargo went against the desires of the African Union Peace and Security Council. How was that issue addressed in your discussions today?
Concernant l'embargo sur les armes au sud du Soudan, nous avons discuté de cette question et nous avons dit, est-ce que cet embargo vaut la peine? Parce que le nombre des armes qui circulent au Soudan du Sud, nous avons eu la chance d'effectuer une mission à Juba, à la capitale, et nous sommes allés à Malakal. Même si vous faites l'embargo, les armes qui sont là-bas dépassent même les armes qu'on doit envoyer là-bas et que vous avez limitées. Nous avons circulé même dans la ville. Vous voyez un paysan qui passe à vélo, il a son Kalachnikov ici et l'autre est derrière. Nous avons été très surpris. Mais pourtant, il y a l'embargo. C'est ça le paradoxe. Finish.
Anybody?
No, yeah, I'm sure that can be translated.
Yeah.
Of course, on the arms embargo, the council has taken a decision, but it was not a unanimous decision. So, of course, if the council is not completely unanimous, of course, a discussion like this will also be not. I mean, there are nuances in the positions in our Security Council, and also between the two councils on that particular point. And on the previous question. On the constitution of the DRC, I think the constitution is quite clear as to mandates of presidents.
So
All right.
Think about a transfer of power away from Joseph Kabila.
Well, I think that when we express ourselves the way we do in a joint fashion, it's just you just have to look at the constitution, but we go further because you say that we look forward to transfer of power according to what the constitution says. And the Constitution has limits as to the mandates of a president in the DRC. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Merci.